Good morning, y'all. Hope everybody's well. I've got cool stuff for you today. I know the camera's off here. Let me get my screen ready to share here. Reclaiming the host. All right. Hang on just a sec. Now, you get the dang browser set up. I guess I could turn the video on. There we go. Hey, morning. You get all your browsers and stuff ready to go. And then as soon as you turn on Zoom, buddy, it's like, nope, we're going to take it all off the screen and make you do it over. But that's okay. Ain't nothing we can't handle. All right. So we got that. That's what I want to show you. And that is what I want to show to you. And the actual app always helps. Okay. Okay, and the keynote presentation. Now, for y'all who don't have children, you probably don't know how delightful this is, but when you do have kids, sometimes they decide to have play dates, and the best thing ever is when the other kids' parents bring their child to your house for the play date 2 hours early. So you're probably going to hear the sound of wild animals running up and down the hall behind me, and those would be children. How dare they play and have fun during the holidays? Who do these kids think they are? Probably with their hippity hop music. I'm just trying to fix the chat here. Attendees can chat with everybody, I think. All right, will y'all let me know if you can hear me and stuff in the chat? There we go. All right, cool. Yay. Huzzah. Okay, so what I got for you today is I'm going to do like an actual presentation on how to sell this stuff. And then I'll answer some questions when we're done. And yeah, I got plenty of water here. And I think for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to put these earbuds in right here. I don't know if this will mess us up or not. Let me know if it does. I'm just using them for noise cancellation here. Wow. Now I think I'm going to be yelling because I can't hear anything. Okay. Should probably share the screen. That's likely step one. There we go. Share. Okay. So can y'all see the screen, etc., etc.? Hey man, let's oh dude, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it just swapped over. It actually sounds great.
Wow. Well, no wonder all the people in the news are using their AirPods. I thought they were just trying to look cool. Okay. So let's sell these things, man. I have no idea how to make the dang slides not have all that empty space behind them. Hang on a sec. Earbud malfunction accepted. Can you still hear me all right?
Yeah.
Damn, things are
Can you
getting
hear me?
weird on me. Okay. Sort of, yeah. I think it's just I'm not used to these things. Okay, so this is how to close the first sale. All right, I'm going to get you as many appointments as you want within 7 days, or you don't pay sale. That's what I want to show y'all how to do today. And I'll turn these slides into a PDF, and of course, we'll post them into our learning area. Before I get into this, hang on. I want you to remember now, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I can kind of sense it sometimes that you forget this, or some of y'all forget this. We're talking to real businesses here, all right? So we are not talking to internet marketers. And I know that, just because I know who some of y'all are, I know some of y'all have done like high ticket and, coaching program type of stuff in the past, then you might have a little post internet marketer stress disorder, PIMSD, because dealing with like your typical internet marketer person on a sales call is going to be significantly different than dealing with somebody who actually owns an established appointment-based business. And we've talked about that a lot. And I just want you to keep that in mind as we go into this thing. So, numero uno. All right. Before you're talking to anyone, Keep in mind your mindset and the setting in which you're going to be talking to them. I don't mean your physical location, but remember that these folks are always coming to you. All right. So like you're not knocking on doors, they are coming to you. And even if you're doing a cold outreach campaign, they still end up booking an appointment with you. All right. So that's really important to remember, especially from a confidence standpoint. So keep that in mind. All right. Number dose is that, man, I swear you like hear an echo or something. Audio's cool though.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. Yeah. Weird. All right. They need you more than you need them. Okay. So like you've got the magic appointment getting system. They ain't got the magic appointment getting system. And the reason I'm telling you this is because, again, I'm really speaking for the folks who are veterans of the internet marketing world. If you've ever done any strategy session type sales or whatever, it probably was horrible. You probably didn't like it very much, and you probably dealt with a lot of flakes. And if you've ever taken sales training and stuff, there's all you're prepared to deal with all of these objections and stuff, and that's just not what we're going to do at all. We ain't gonna have that. Okay, so keep this in your mind as you go into this, and understand that if they're a good fit for you, like you're really going to help them a lot. And that's important, because like if you're selling a course or something, like your information is good, but like who knows what they're going to do with it. You know what I mean? But when you're doing this service for a business that actually has a database and everything, please be very confident in how significant it is that you're going to be able to get them appointments. Like that's a big freaking deal. And the reason I tell you that is because the more confidence and detachment that you have going into these conversations, number one, the more pleasant they will be for you and the person you're talking to. And number two, the more you'll sell, which is great. Okay. Like I just said, detachment means don't be attached to a yes. Like if they don't buy, who cares? It's not like, again, to make a comparison, it's not like the internet marketing world where like, oh man, I did a webinar, I get like 200 registrants, I got 4 applications, 2 of them showed up. If I don't close this high ticket sale, then I lost money. Like it's not like that, So please don't feel like if you don't sell every single person that you're a loser or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of these folks out there to talk to. And if you're getting weirded out by it, like and I'll show you like the whole process here in a minute, but during the mental math part, if it doesn't pencil out to you to like, man, this is a no brainer for this person, don't sell them. Because even if you can sell them, they might not get that great of results because their list might suck or their average customer value might suck or whatever. And then they're just going to be unhappy and it's not fun. So it's totally okay to not sell people. And remember, again, we only want to be talking to established appointment-based businesses, all right? And preferably of the local persuasion. And by that, I don't mean local to you, but I mean, like salons, lawyers, psychiatrists, dentists, things like that. Not necessarily life coaches and so forth. We want the person who's paying rent. And the reason why is they're easy to win for. They're easier to sell, but their more important reason is that they're easy to get the results for. And that's important because there's nothing that's going to get you greater success than being able to get results for people, like the end of story. Little ear thingies don't want to stay in here. Okay. And it's good to do these calls on Zoom rather than just like over the horn or whatever, because you like have your demo campaign and you can show them the pipeline during the demo. And the demo campaign is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for you, which is awesome. Hang on. It's so weird talking to y'all with these earbuds in. Okay. So about this conversation. So, this is the whole thing, by the way, 30 minutes max. So they've already seen the offer.
right? So they're framed up as they've seen the offer somehow that I can get you as many appointments as you want in 7 days, or you don't pay. Okay, so they've seen that, and therefore they already know what's for sale. We don't have to do like a long discovery call or anything like that. You're going to know in the first 5 minutes of talking to them if they're a good fit, and if they're not, then you can just not sell them and get off the phone, and you can do it politely. And so I'll kind of go over some scenarios in a minute and some examples of how to do that politely. But it's not like this is a long, awful sale conversation or anything. Everything we're going to do is designed to get you to, or to get them to ask you to sell them. So you're instead of like pushing them, you're basically pulling them towards you and getting them to say, okay, well, what do we do? How do we get started? And I'll show you how that's choreographed. We don't do, this is a matter of personal choice, but I don't recommend any of this. Okay, I'll think about it and call you back. I wouldn't tolerate that. So that I'm kind of setting this up as not necessarily a rule or anything. Of course, you do stuff however you want to do it, but as a cultural thing, like I wouldn't get in the habit of accepting that, because those are almost always no's and they're a pain in the ass. So we don't want to be dealing with any of that kind of stuff, and we don't really want to do any objection handling at all. So if it's not a hell yes on the client side, if they're not excited about it, then don't do it, because your objective, your mission is to have this long-term relationship with the client, and we don't want to have a long-term relationship when it's starting off unpleasant. It's only going to remain unpleasant, So now let's talk about the sale itself, the thing you're selling. Okay, so what we're talking about today is the conversation you have to make sale number one, which is, okay, I'm going to get you all the appointments you want within 7 days. All right. So the purpose of that sale, of making that one sale, is number one, to make the client a profit. Don't promise them a profit, by the way. We're not saying you're going to make a profit in 7 days or you don't pay, but we want them to be profitable. That kind of helps you have them as a lifetime customer. So we definitely want that to happen. That's a big deal. We want to demonstrate that you can help them by actually helping them. And again, aside from that just being the right thing to do, it also sets you up for the longer term sale. And you want to set yourself up for the monthly sale. And we'll talk about the monthly sale at another section. Like, I want to get this one nailed first. All right. And also, this sets you up for referrals. So if you do a great job with this, there's no reason they wouldn't refer you. So that's the meaning of all of this stuff. Now, because of all of this, all right, don't get greedy on this thing. So you can theoretically sell this for a lot of money. I wouldn't. You're going to see me fidgeting a lot. By the way, it's because I hurt my dang back again, so I can't quite get comfortable. Don't get super greedy with this. Like, charge whatever you want, but it's smart to make this a no-brainer for the prospect. You want them to be like, yeah, this is great. And that sets you up to win. And when by you winning, I mean, like, you've made a profit for them. And when that happens, everything else becomes easy. Like, they like you right out of the gate. You're the hero, and that's what you want to be, So here we go in terms of how to pitch this thing. All right. So they've seen the offer. All right. I'll get you all the appointments you want in 7 days, or you don't pay anything. So they're coming into this conversation to find out more. How does that work? Right. So this is where we are. Like, when we're directing the play or something, begin scene. Bob has seen the advertisement that says blah, blah, blah. And now he's calling John to find out more. That's where we are. Okay. So here are our steps or our phases. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to qualify this person, and we're going to ask them think it's 5 questions. We'll see because it's on the slides. So we're going to do it by finding out, number one, how soon they want the appointments. Okay. And we've talked about this before. If they say, yeah, I want to get appointments like next month, well, congratulations. You just saved yourself the rest of the conversation because you can say, cool, this is my number. Call me when you want appointments. All right. Because why go through this whole sales pitch only to have them say, okay, I want to do this in a month from now. So that's why we're doing that. We're also doing it so it'll eliminate them giving you the, well, I think I'll do this later. What's the word? Deflection, after you have made them the offer. Okay. So the second question is, do you have a list? All right. So if they ain't got one, guess what? You don't talk to them anymore. You very politely say, oh man, hang on, I'll give you a couple of examples. Of course, I'm losing my voice. Hang on. All right. So in both of these situations, how to get off the phone. So the person says, yeah, I need the appointments around March, and it's like in late December right now, right? So you say, okay, man, that's great. I can't wait to help you then. This is my number. Why don't you call me about 7 days before you need the appointments? And then they're going to say, well, how does it work anyway? So, you know what? I'll be happy to go over that with you when you're ready. But I have a pretty full plate right now and I need to go. Just call me when you're ready and I'll be happy to take care of you. Well, I just want to know how it works. Like, how does this thing work? And then you just hold your ground, be like, you know what? I respect that you want to know how it works. It's a simple little system that uses AI to get appointments, but you're not ready yet. And I totally respect your time. I'm just going to ask you to respect mine right now. I need to go. Please call me when you're ready in March and we'll see if we can help you. That's it. Right. So you don't have to be rude about it. If they don't have a list, you just have to get off the phone. Oh man, dang it. I'm so sorry. The way this works is we send a series of messages out to your existing database and get them to book an appointment with you. And if we don't have that list, then I can't fulfill the promise to you and you're going to be upset with me. So I'm glad I asked that up front, so thanks so much for thinking about me, but I can't help you. I'm sorry. That's it. I just so pleasantly, but you just get off the phone. There's no point in talking to them anymore unless you just like talking. All right. So next question is, how many people are on the list? And so like you're going to save this number in your head for the mental math part. As a general rule, if it's less than 100 people, probably not a lot you can do for them, as a general rule. I mean, there's maybe situations where you could, but if it's that small, then you can't help them. So again, to get off the phone, oh man, I'm glad you told me that. Yeah, most appointments I can get you might be 2. Their list's really small. You don't want to make it sound like it's their fault or whatever. It's like the most appointments I could probably get you would be 2. This wouldn't be worth your money. You end up upset with me. I can't help you, man. I'm so sorry. I need a larger database than that. But thanks so much. And have a good day. Take it easy. Bye. Right. Next qualifying question. So let's assume, yeah, man, I need appointments next week. Yeah, I got a list. Yeah, 250 people, whatever. Now we want to ask them how many appointments they want. All right. So how many people are on their list? And the other how many appointments do you want? All right. And we need to be very cognizant of reality here. So, if we go back here, all right. How soon do you want appointments next week? Cool. You got a database of existing clients? Yeah. How big is it? That's 250. Awesome. Okay. How many appointments do you want to get next week? 500. Okay, we already have like an issue. How are we going to get 500 appointments from a database 250? So it's not time to talk about like how many appointments you can get them yet, but just as you're taking notes during this process or whatever, kind of make a little note there. All right, this guy wants 1 million appointments and he's got 400 people on the list. I'm going to have to give him a more realistic expectation later on during this call here. Okay. And then we want to ask them their close rate. And a real easy way to ask that question is, hey man, so if you have like typically on average, like, 10 appointments in a week or whatever, out of those 10, how many of them will become customers? That'll give you the close rate. Right. So if it's 5 out of 10, it's a 50% close rate. 7 out of 10 is 70%. You get it. Okay. But that's the way to ask that. I wouldn't say what's your close rate, because they probably don't think in terms of those metrics. And then what's the sale worth? Right. So that's a really easy way to ask that question. So those are the qualifying things. And if none of those things really add, then I wouldn't do it. All right. I would get off the call and say, you know what? I don't think that I can do a good job for you because, you have a list of, or, because you closed 1 out of 10 appointments and you have a list of 200 people. So I could probably get you 20 appointments that you want, but that would maybe lead to 2 sales. And if your average customers worth $100, it's just, I'm going to cost a lot more than that. And you're going to be mad at me. And I really don't want to do you wrong, So that's just how you get done with people who don't qualify. So assuming they say the right things here, all right, then we have these next sections. I'm going to go over this section by section for you, by the way. The next phase here is offer and pull. This is where you make the offer and let them ask questions. So I'll go over how to do that in a minute. And then the next phase is demonstrate. That's where you put them in the demo campaign. And the next phase is the ask, answer, close phase. All right. So that qualify part, 5 minutes max. All right, so it's pretty simple. So let's say that they are qualified. All right. Well, let me get you through this. All right. So I don't want to be redundant, so I'll do this quickly. So we get them, and again, I'm giving you these slides. So, all right, man, thanks so much for calling. If we can, I'll let you know if we can do it here after we talk. I'll ask a few questions, but it really is true. We can get you as many appointments as you want in 7 days, or you don't pay anything. But I can't do it for everybody, so I've got to ask you a couple questions to make sure I can live up to that promise. Is that cool? Sure, go ahead. All right. How many appointments, or rather, how soon do you want to get appointments? Again, if it's not ASAP, stop. If they say as soon as possible or next week or whatever, I want you to set a firm date. So if they say next week, say something like, okay, so like as soon as next Monday, we want to get a firm date, because the more specific we can be in this thing, especially when it comes time to close. So, several slides from now, this will make a lot more sense. But as specific as you can be about this, the better. All right. So how soon do you want appointments? As soon as possible, like as early as next Monday. Yeah. Okay. So next Monday is whatever, the 1st of January. I think that actually is Monday. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now you made a little note, start January 1st. All right. Great. Now we ask them, all right, cool. Do you have a database of prospects and customers with their phone numbers? Yes or no? I'm assuming everything's yes at this stage, right? Great. About how many people are on that and how old is it? If it's from 1987, don't take the gig. I think you kind of get that, right? So, anything over 200 ought to be okay, depending on how many appointments they want, which is what we're going to ask now. All right. So let's say they got 200 people and they want 20 appointments. That's not unreasonable, really. Right. Who knows, but it's not crazy out of the ballpark. So if it's, around 10% of their list, I think that's somewhat realistic. But I would tell them, if they want 20 and they've got, 200 people on a list, or if they've got 300 people on a list and they want 30, or no matter what it is, I would under promise a little bit. And I would say something like, Bob, I want to promise you the 20, but I'm not 100% sure we can get you that many. At this stage, I'm feeling more comfortable with saying I can get you around 15. Is that okay with you? And the reason we want to do that is because we want to get more than 15, right? We're the whole purpose of this is to set you up for that later sale. All right, that's all we're doing. We just want to crush it for this person and make it a no-brainer for them. Okay, so now the way we ask them for the close rate is exactly like I told you, so I don't want to like be too redundant here. And then ask them what a customer's worth, how much does someone spend with you on average. You know, it really depends on the business, right? So if it's a hair salon, like how much do they usually spend with you? How often do they come? You know, so if they come once a month, then they spend $200, and you know that's $600 per quarter as a very valuable customer, right? So you're kind of doing all of this in your head, and now we're going to do the mental math. Okay, so everything up to this is really no more than a 5-minute conversation, unless you're just establishing rapport and all that kind of stuff. But we're not, you know, this isn't a discovery call where you're taking forever. You're the minute it doesn't seem right to say, I don't think I can help you, dude. I gotta go. Okay. So assuming it feels like you can help them, we're gonna do some good old-fashioned mental math. And there's nothing wrong with using a calculator. We're doing this. So you can do actual math if you want to. So what we want to do is we want to let them tell you how much this is worth to them. Okay. So that's part of what we're going to do. So you know how many appointments they want. You know, if they want 10, say, you know, I think I could probably get you 7. I'm going to shoot for 10, but would you be okay with 7? Right. We always want to under promise there. All right. And you know how many they think they're going to close. All right. Because they answered that question. And you know what a sale is worth. Okay. So here's the mental math. You take the number of appointments, again, smaller number, right? So however many, you know, they want, and just say, I think I can get you a couple less than that, and then multiply that by the close rate. And that gives you the number of customers. So pretty basic, I know. And then, you know, at that stage, you'd be like, okay, so let's say they wanted 20 appointments. You said, I'm not sure if I can get you 20. Would you be cool with 15? Yeah, I mean, 15 is great. It's better than nothing. All right, cool. So now we're at this stage, right? Okay, so if I get you 15 appointments and you close 75% of them, that's 11 sales, I think. Is that right? I'm not the best at math. I don't want to. Does that sound right to you? You always want to let them confirm. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, you're not talking at them. This is a dialogue. So now we know how many customers this campaign of yours is expected to yield, which is good. Okay, so now we just want to find out what it's worth. So you take that 11 number and then you multiply it by whatever they say a customer is worth. And that's going to give you the total revenue. So you go, all right, you said each customer is worth about $250. Is that right? You know, because they already told you that earlier during your qualification process there. Let them confirm. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And then you never know, like they could totally change. Right. Then be like, well, you know, come to think of it, really they're worth $150. Oh, good. I'm glad you told me. Okay. Doesn't matter. All right. But we just want to get that confirmation because they're telling you what it's worth. So you get that. And then you go, okay, so let me see. And you can literally have a calculator. I do some math here. Don't embarrass myself. All right, you know, 11 sales times $250 comes out to $2,750. So if my math is right, then you should be able to turn these appointments into $2,750. That's our goal then. Did I get that right? And that let them confirm. Okay. So you want to let them confirm. Did I get that right? Does that sound about right? Cool. All right. And so that's the tonality, the whole thing, you know. You're not promising, you're letting them confirm. All right. Seems about, man, that seem right to you? Great. And notice, by the way, in that little sentence, I said, you, meaning them, the prospect, you should be able to turn them into 2,750. It's their job to turn these appointments into customers. It's not yours. So you're not promising you're going to get them sales. You're promising to get them customers, or rather appointments, rather. Good Lord, damn, you contradicted myself. I'm thrown off by the Nerf gun battle that is happening right outside the door here. 2 hours early. Who does that, dude? What? Seriously? Okay. Anyway, what the hell are y'all doing? So let's say we got all that's cool. All right. So they're like, yeah, man, that sounds about right. Great. So this is the third stage here. And, we might be 10 minutes in. I'm taking a lot longer explaining this process than I am in terms of the conversation. So what we want to do is we want to either get a no immediately, which is totally fine. Who cares? You could get like, you ain't gonna have any problems getting appointments. So please don't feel like you have to close every single one of them. If it's a no, all right, cool, man. See you later. Thanks. Bye. Right. So rejection is fine. Or to get them asking questions. We don't expect them to immediately go, great, take the money. So here's what we're going to do. You want to quote a price that is less than what they just said it was worth. And this is why I don't recommend like putting pricing on your site or whatever, because you want it to be fluid. You want to, like, if they say it's worth $27.50, then, you want to say, okay, I'll do it for $17.50 and I can start on Monday. Remember, we already got them to say that they wanted appointments as soon as Monday. You see how we're talking this all together now? All right, hang on. Okay, I'll do it for $17.50. I can start on Monday. And if I don't get you, what do we say, 15 appointments by the following Monday, you don't pay. I'm happy to put that in writing. All right. And now you ask them the closing question. Again, we're not expecting them to actually close at this stage, but here's the closing question. I'm putting it in quotes here. All right. What do you want to do? Crazy. All right. So here's what's going to happen. One of three options. Number one, they're going to say yes, extremely unlikely. That would be like, okay, geez, all right. You sure? Or they'll say no, which is also, it's possible, but probably not yet because people are polite. Or they're going to ask questions, right? So there's one of those three things. They're probably going to have questions because they're normal people. Notice we didn't go into it. We didn't start this conversation with a sales pitch about how cool the software is and how amazing and how many, we're choreographing this for a reason, right? Everything is done in this order for a specific reason. So all we wanted to do in that first section is establish the value of it, establish that they do in fact want to start it on X date, and then present a price to them that is lower than the value. And you can be guaranteed they're doing that math in their head, by the way. So you don't need to point it out to them or anything, right? And now we want them to ask the questions because them asking questions is a sign of interest in buying. So what you want to do is you want to answer their questions and get to the point where you can show them the demo, all right? So this is now the answering questions part. And there are two questions parts, by the way. This is the first of two. And I think 100% transparency is fine 100% of the time in everything, but especially in doing this. So I'm giving you example questions that they might have. How do I know this is going to work? A perfect answer for that is we don't know it's going to work. You know what? It might not. I think it will, but you know what? If it doesn't, I'll refund your money on Monday, the whatever that date is, and I'm happy to put that in writing for you. But I definitely don't know 100% that it's going to work. That's why I give you this guarantee. But I feel like it will. I wouldn't ask you for the business if I didn't, because I don't want to work for free, So I'm pretty confident. But if it doesn't, which is possible, I'll give you back your money, and I'm happy to put that in writing for you. I'm not here to make enemies. I want to do a good job for you, right? 100% transparency, right there. They're not expecting that, by the way, so that's good. All right. Do you have any references? Let's say you've never done this in your life. Here's the perfect answer. Nope. You are my first client ever. That's why I'm doing this for such a low price. Hey, if I do a good job, will you give me a reference? No, you don't have to, but I sure would appreciate it because I know people are going to be asking me for this in the future. That's it. And if they don't like it, if they're like, man, I'm uncomfortable with that. Okay. Does that mean you don't want to do it? Yeah, I don't want to do it. Okay. See you later. Next. I mean, that's why it's really important to have that mindset going in, not like an I'm better than you, screw you kind of, arrogant kind of thing, but there really are a lot of them. I know I'm fidgety, guys. Sorry. I really know, I know 100% that there's a lot more of them than they are of you. And it's just not that hard to get appointments. So, next question. And who knows what they're going to be asking? I'm just thinking of like obvious questions they're probably going to ask, well, how does this damn thing work anyway? Great. We really want to get them to this point, right? So this is the stage where we want them to ask, because now we can show them the demo. So you can answer this however you want to. Well, I got a software that uses AI to set appointments with your database over text. So we're going to send them a text with an open-ended question that makes them a very soft offer. And if they reply to that and they express any interest, then our system is going to use AI to set an appointment for you. And then you could even give them an example of that, what that first text would be. So, and it doesn't have to be related to their industry. So, you can say something like, for example, like if it was tax season and you were a CPA or something, then that open-ended text might be like, hey, you know what? Taxes are due pretty soon. Do you need any help getting things filed for any last minute deduction? Let me know. Something like that is what we said. So word that however you want. Well, that's kind of dry language, but you get it, right? Or you can just read it verbatim. It doesn't matter. Cool. All right. And then you say, hey, you want to see it in action? All right. And this is what we want to do, right? So they say yes, you say cool, and you put them in your demo campaign, which you have, right? And so they text whatever your trigger word is to your demo campaign. You're with them on Zoom, hopefully. You're with them there on the Zoom. All right. And they're going to be like, holy crap, just like you guys were over the webinar, So you put them in the demo campaign and they book their own dummy appointment and everything. So once that happens, and I suggest you really play up how freaking cool it is when they're in that demo, like you show them, you bring up their contact record in the system and show them like, look, and check this out. If I want to text you back right now, I can right here through the system. I'm like, oh man, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, and see it's in the pipeline here, and like blah blah blah. Just show them how it works. It's kind of because it's freaking cool. If you can show them how cool it is. So once you've gone through that process, and this is another 5 minutes or whatever, right? It's not like you're trying to dig up their emotional pain or whatever, like your traditional high ticket sales stuff. Like, we're not doing any of that shit. So they just told you they wanted to start on Monday, right? We established that at the beginning of the call. They want appointments on Monday or whatever date. I'm just choosing a Monday, right? So you say, okay, so I can start Monday. What do you want to do? Now, this is again another attempt at closing. So in this case, they might say, yeah, okay, cool, man, let's do it. Or they might have some questions. All right. So questions might be like, will this integrate with my CRM? For example, I use, Salesforce or HubSpot or XYZ or telepathy or whatever. Here's my recommendation in terms of how to respond to that, which is this. I'll check, even if it does integrate with it, like this. We don't want them going into tech world right now. We do tech world later. So hey, you know what? I'll check. But here's what I recommend. Give me the times that you're available next week, and I'll set everything up on my end. And as soon as you get an appointment, I'll have the system send you a text, your assistant a text, and an email, like however you want that done, to let you know that you just got a new appointment along with the date and time. You can just have somebody put that in your system for you, so we don't risk overbooking. Sound good? And then now, if they say, yeah, okay, that's cool. Great. What do you want to do? So what do you want to do is the closing question, because you're giving them that control, right? Cool. What do you want to do? So as soon as you're done with the question, you circle down to, all right, what do you want to do? You ready to go? What do you want to do? That's it. Here's another one. By the way, it's okay to repeat that process. And So, I can't think of every imaginable question that they're going to answer, but it's bound to happen. They're going to ask something you don't know the answer to. So when that happens, tell them you don't know and ask them if they still want to proceed. All right. Like, I don't know what that question could be. You know what I mean? But like, if they say, well, what operating system is your software built off of or whatever? You can be like, honestly, I have no idea. It just gets appointments, but I don't know. Do you still want to do it? Stop talking. Yes or no. Okay, that's it. So you can do the ask, answer, close cycle multiple times before you finally get to a yes. As long as you're not getting objections like, well, I don't like this, or this, they're engaged. Questions are not objection. Questions, sometimes people are just curious. They like asking questions. And by the way, you want to get to know. So if they don't want to do it, the faster they say no, the better, because you're not wasting your freaking time. So you always want to go for that soft close every time you answer one of their questions. All right. If they say they don't want to do it, okay, no problem. And see you later. That's it. All right. We're not going to freaking talk them into it because they're going to be a pain in the ass. Trust me on that one. Life's too short. So let's say they say, all right, cool, man, it sounds good. All right, you're like, all right, great. So let's get you paid like right now. Okay, we don't want to get paid later. We want to get you paid now. So you can generate a payment link in your high level account or in Stripe, and you can send them that payment link right there on the spot, which I recommend you do because you're going to be on Zoom, etc. Right? So you might even have it open in another tab or something. So you stop sharing your desktop, you flip back to camera mode and you say, okay, cool, hang on just a second. Sorry, I'm building something for you real quick. And you create a little payment link. And then now you I would really recommend you use Stripe for this. You get that and then you send them the link. You do it over Zoom text. You send it to them by email. You can even send it to them by text because they done the demo campaign with you. So you can go back to their contact record and text it to them. So you send them the link and you just start doing the assumptive close right now. All right. So what we're going to do is you're going to say, all right, cool. I just sent you the payment link. Let me go ahead and get some info from UI. That way I can get everything set up on my end. So you're just assuming now that they're going to pay that invoice that you just sent them. All right. So that's important because we want to be using the rule of commitment and consistency here. So they just said that they were going to do it. You just sent them a link. Now they're going to start giving you info. You're going to start doing stuff, which is going to make it way less likely for them to like back out. Or they're going to be like, oh, well, I can't pay right now. I'll tell you how to deal with that here as well. So what we really want to do, aside from all that psychological stuff I just told you, is we want to create their sub account right there on the spot. It doesn't cost you anything to create a sub account. So we might as well, so you're going to get their business name, business address, their business phone number, their business email address. So this again is like a, 47-second process, right? And you're going to create the sub account right there on the call with them. You're not going to do anything with the campaigns. You just want to get that sumbitch created. So the next phase here is I didn't want my fonts on my slide to be super small, but we're still in the same little closing session here. All right. So you create the sub account. You want to open the sub account now, so like, you don't have to show them any of this, by the way. You're direct to camera now. You're not sharing your screen anymore. But what you do want to do is you want to, in their sub account you just created, go to settings and then phone and then add number, just like you did with your own account, right? And you want to type in the area code that they're in. They don't need to be watching you do this or anything. And you want to say, you pick any number because you know how high level does. It gives you all these different numbers to choose from. So you just pick one. You say, okay, here's the number that's available for sending the text from. It's 858-555-1212. That seemed like a good number to use for you. Is this the number that is going to be the from number when we're sending texts and everything. Do you want to use that one? Probably going to say, okay, you know, like why wouldn't they, right? And hey, if they don't want to buy right now, they're going to start resisting and telling you, and that's great. You get done, get them off the phone. Yeah. So again, flushing out a no is fine. All right. So they're probably at this stage, they're bought in, you know. So the next thing to ask them is, hey, if someone calls this number, do you want it to forward it to your business, or do you want me to create a special voicemail? Personally, I recommend a voicemail because the system will text them back if they call the number, and it can actually ask how it can help them. And this is a great way to get more appointments. I just follow that script to the letter, right? This means you don't have to set up the forwarding, and you can do the text to voicemail thing. Now, I don't know if y'all know that about High Level, but if someone calls a number and you don't answer it, High Level can text them whatever the hell you want to text them, which is, I don't know, let's ask them if they want to book an appointment, you know? Okay, so now it's time for them to pay the invoice because you've just done all of this work. Now, granted, it took, 4 minutes or something to do, but still, we've started the process. We're using that commitment and consistency law from Cialdini's influence here. You already sent it to them, remember? So you generated the payment link, and you say, I just sent you the payment link earlier. I don't know if you got it. Can you go ahead and pay that so I can finish setting up? Stop talking. All right. And so probably they'll say yes, and maybe they won't, right? Now, in my opinion, by the way, sending them a Stripe checkout link so you can generate all of this stuff, like directly in Stripe if you want to. Sending them that Stripe checkout link is way less scary than a yoursite.com order form because Stripe is a giant global brand and it's like there's going to be a lot more familiarity when they see that Stripe logo. So that's just my opinion. And it's faster because if your pricing is going to be fluid, you don't want to have to build like a freaking order page, for every different price that you do because you never know how much you're going to charge them. You know what I mean? So now that we have that done, all right, we might as well get as much done as we can while you have them the first time. So it is possible that they won't be able to pay on the spot. Like some people might not have their credit card on them, and that's that's legitimate, right? So as long as it doesn't feel like bullshit, then it's probably not. They let you get this far, they're probably okay. Hey, look. There we go. All right. So let's say they say that. All right. And what's today? Thursday. They want to start on Monday. No problem. So what we want to do is we want to set an appointment for onboarding and make them commit to paying your invoice before that date. So the way you do that, so they just say, oh man, I got your link. Thank you. I'll pay it as soon as I get to the office or as soon as I get the credit card or whatever. Fine. Right. So they say that, you say, okay, cool. Let's talk tomorrow at 10 in the morning. And I'm going to need a few more things anyway before I can get started. So it'll take about 10 minutes max. And I can set everything up after we do that tomorrow. How's that sound? Great. Right. So either it will work or it won't, but you need to get them to commit to a specific time and date to talk within like the next 24 to 48 hours. If they won't do that, then it's a no. All right. And you can just be like, you know what, Jim, I get the sense you really might not want to do this. And this might be being too polite to tell me that you don't want to do this. And dude, if you don't want to do it, it's totally fine. Is that the case? Or am I imagining things? No problem. If they say, yeah, you know what, all right, cool, man. Well, great. You know what? Best of luck to you. Bye. Right. We're not trying to dance around it here. Okay. So let's say you choose the date and time for them to finish the onboarding process. Once you choose that date and time, this is important. Okay, great. Hey, we do you a favor and pay that invoice before we meet. And if they say yes, there's about a 90% chance they're actually going to do it because people hate to not do what they say they're going to do. So that's your scripting. for that in terms of that point right there. So, all right, we got them. If they do pay you on the spot, we might as well like start doing some of the onboarding process. So if they do that, then you need to get the database from them or get a commitment from them that they'll get that database to you by a specific time. All right. So I wouldn't expect them to have like, yes, I have the database right here. I mean, email it to you. They're probably going to have to send it to you tomorrow or later on today. Like, get that commitment from them so you can go ahead and get things moving. And then you want to come up with the initial text message together if you can, because we're literally trying to figure out one sentence to send people, right? So like, how do we do that? Like, what's the best way? So you could be like, okay, you know what? While I've got you, let's brainstorm for a minute together on. Remember, we ain't doing this unless they paid you, by the way. So let's brainstorm for a minute on that first text message that goes out to your database. Once they answer this, then it'll start trying to book the appointment. So, I've got a list of things here. I'm just going to run through some stuff with you. What's been the most successful offer you've ever made, like in terms of an ad or a sale or anything like that? They might tell you, and you might say, okay, do you want to do it around? They say, yeah. All right, cool. So if like the offer was say 15%, buy one, get one free or whatever, great. That's what you're going to put in the text, right? Hey, you know what? We've got a buy one, get one free offer this week. You interested? Whatever it might be. I mean, buy one, get one free, maybe they won't have that, but you know what I mean. Okay. Then you could also ask them if they're like stumped and say, oh, well, what do they want the most from you? Like, what's your best seller? Right. And they'll tell you, say, okay, well, would you be willing to offer a discount on that? Yes or no. And what do you usually advertise? There's another one. Well, I usually advertise 10% off first visit, get a free, I don't know, car wash with whatever when you buy a new car, pulling things out of the air. Okay, perfect. That's what we'll use as our first text, right? And if you still can't find ideas, check this out. You can use still not other monitor here. Hang on. I'm hoping y'all can still hear me and stuff. I have just been talking at you. Okay, let's see.
You're good.
All right. Now I got to do the old copy and paste. There's so many browsers open. Where'd you go? Weird. Maybe. There's that one. Oh, here we go. All right. So check this out. Okay. Already had this pulled out. And you can go to the Facebook ads library and you can type in something like, let's say they're a hair salon. You can type in hair salon San Diego and you can see what other people are offering. And you can just do this with them. I mean, it's like a 10-minute process. Yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. So, this person's got to get a 2 for the price of 1. What do you think about that? That seems pretty good. You want to try that? So that's one way to brainstorm ideas with them. Another way, Groupon. All right. So like, obviously, you don't want to be like Groupon and keep all of the money and everything, but you just type in their category, like movers. Right. Boom. Let's see what happens here. All right, 50% off, you got all this kind of stuff here. So you go through, like, you want to try anything close to this. In worst case scenario, let's say it's an attorney or something. Worst case scenario, it can be like, okay, we're just going to send a text out that says that you have a few availabilities next week. Do they want to come in? That would work for a hair salon. That would work for a CPA. That would work for an attorney. And, you would append like, you want to come in and discuss important subject here. Like, let's say that's a CPA or an attorney. Because the salon, I got a few appointments next week. You want to come in and get anything done, right? So really nothing to that. But that's a great place for inspiration in terms of what to think of for their initial, customer reactivation campaign there. So get back out of there, go back in here. And I think actually the last thing you want to do is you want to get their availability. All right. And you like just write this down in a notepad or whatever. You don't have to set up their calendar while you're on the horn with them, but be like, okay, so we're going to start on Monday. So what hours next week do I need to have open on this calendar that I'm setting up for you? So, people can book appointments at the right time. And there you go. So now you've got them like, 90% onboarded, and the rest of the work, quote unquote, is just customizing the actual texts that go out that ask them, can I send you over some times to book an appointment, and customizing the reminder emails. And like, that's it. So it's not really that hard. And we help you do it with your very first one. So that's how you sell it. And so it's not very difficult, and it doesn't need to be stressful, and it's perfectly okay to not close the sale or to not take the customer. It's fine. There's a whole lot more of them than there are of you. YEW. So I can now take questions if anyone's got them.
Yeah, Robin Yates says, would it be wise to use the D7 list with just the business name and email, deliberately leaving out the phone number? If so, is there a way to build an automation to ask for the phone number when they reply in a way that would automatically update their contact info? Or would it be to just call using Facebook lead form ads?
Well, you're talking about two different animals. All right. So we built that cold. Let's see, let me pull the sucker up for you. We built it. I'm trying to find my dang the hell is my stuff here? Can't talk and operate the internet at the same time, y'all. Sorry. I want to pull the cold campaign up for you. And I have misplaced it. Oh, here we go. Okay. So hang on. Can't remember what I named it. All right. Gonna bring this up. And then I'll share the screen again. I've misplaced my Zoom controllers. That's what you want to do. You guys ever notice that on Zoom? Like, or is it just me? Am I like just Zoom challenged? The controllers like to vanish. Here they are. Okay. God. Here we are. Share. Cool. Okay. So here we are. This is the good. All right. This is the cold email campaign right here. All righty. So great day for Bad Vision here. Here are our emails right here. And if we don't have their numbers and or their names, right? Because like D7, I know like some of it doesn't have their names. We're going to want to redo a little bit of this email. And so I would, as a matter of fact, let me see if I've got this thing. I've got a little white file I'm putting together for you. And let's see if I've got this one. Dang it, where'd it go? I don't want to have to show you a bunch of crap here. Yeah, I'll have to post it in the group for you. But if you don't have their name or number, we're going to have to change the copy in the email. And the copy is going to be something like appointments for company name, right? So appointments for Frank Kern Inc. That's the name of my company. Or if you're going industry specific, it could be like, let's say you're targeting hair salons. It could be looking for salon. Could be your subject line. And then your body copy could say something like, actually, no, that's better for lead gen. Hang on. I want to get this copy out of my head because my brain is so linear. I can't move to the next thought unless I finish this round here. So give me a second. Yeah, appointments for company names. All right. So that's the subject line, and I'll write this out for you. So I'll give you a select file. So the subject line will be something like a company or appointments for Barbara's, House of Curls or whatever you call hair salons, appointments for lefties. That's where I go, barbershop in Pacific Beach. And then the body copy would say, hi, I can generate. I will actually put, I can, in parentheses, probably generate anywhere between 10 and 30 appointments for insert company name next week. Is that something that you might be interested in? And then sign off. And that would be your email copy. So now you're waiting for them to respond. And in this cold outreach campaign, if you don't have first name, you don't have phone number or whatever, what's going to happen is when they reply, when they respond, it goes into this pipeline over here. All right. And it's the cold outreach one. It goes in here as replied to email, and we don't have anything to text to them. So you're going to need to write them back and say, assuming they said yes, right? Say, great. What's the best number for you? And and by the way, when they do reply, it's probably going to have their name and stuff in the email, because most people have like signature lines in their email and stuff. So you'll have their name, and at that stage, you can begin the dialogue with them. So that's how to do that. And the short answer to the question is no, there's not really a phone number extraction method from the email. A long ass answer to that question, but I saw that there was some weirdness around D7 and names and numbers and stuff. So I've been stewing on it overnight and this morning.
Awesome. So a couple people were asking, and this is kind of the last part of that question. Do you recommend starting with Facebook lead form ads to reach businesses?
I don't know. It's up to you. You know what I mean? So you can get, like, we know for sure, right, that the cold outreach works, because we've seen we've already seen people having success with it. So we know that appointments can be gotten from that, and that's way cheaper than starting Facebook lead form ads campaign. So I don't know which one would be the most effective for starting out. I think that this would probably be the fastest and cheapest for sure. It doesn't have as much automation though. So you're going to have to like email people back. You know what I mean? Now there are services that will supply the phone numbers and stuff that you can use that are not D7. One of them is seamless.ai, but it's kind of expensive. I've been like digging around because now it's going to bug me, and there's another one called, where is it? I just signed up for them to test it out, and there's pros and cons to it. And damn it, is it? I must have closed the browser out. I closed it out and I can't remember their names. It's not White Label Partners. Oh hell, I'll remember. I think I posted a link to them in our members area, but I bought it, and so we'll see. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, the question is which one's better, and the answer is it really depends on you and your budget and how much you want to automate, etc. The only reason I built that cold email campaign thing was because someone said, I want to get a customer before Christmas. And I was like, okay. So I built that whole thing, for you guys to use. But I would use it. I would definitely use cold outreach for sure. And Facebook lead form ads. I would do it all.
All right, thank you. Millen says, I'm stuck at step 1. Who's most hungry for my business right now? I'm in Canada and want to start with Canadian businesses. Any framework or process that would help me pinpoint the right niche to start with?
Anyone you like? I mean, so we want established appointment-based businesses. So that encompasses all manners of verticals. So if there's any vertical that you particularly like, like maybe you enjoy hair salon folks or something, or maybe you like accounting or anything like that, like wherever you would be most magnetically drawn is fine. You also don't have to choose a vertical. You could just go out and, like this one thing, man, damn it, I'm gonna like be bothered by this. Hang on. Oh, it's Comment Suite right here. Okay. So this tool, am I still sharing my screen?
Yeah.
By the way, all right. So this thing, it's not Comment Suite isn't the name. I posted the name in here, but this thing actually integrates with High Level, which is kind of neat. We can come over here and we can look for people. All right. So I'm just going to call this. Okay. And I'm going to create. And now let's see here. I'm going to go to this one. And I'm going to do a search. That's not what I meant to do. Back over here. Let's see here. All right. Campaigns. Run new search. No. That's not what I'm trying to do, people. Can you guys hear like the madness that is going around in my home right now?
No, it's totally silent.
That's good. Oh, new search. Duh. Okay. Sorry. It was the button, cleverly disguised button, is the one that says new search. So the way this little software works is you have to create a campaign first, so people demo, and then you can do a search based on industry. I did one. I'll show you the results of it, and you can like just see them. But we can also do like owner. Whoops. I don't know if I like that, but let's try it. All right. And we'll say La Jolla. Okay. And search now. And so now we've got like the company name here. So this is a dentist. There's a little tourism company. And you can come in here and like choose who you want to target based on their role within a certain company. So I'm like targeting everyone that is the owner of companies that are in La Jolla. And for whatever reason, it's also giving me the company name of La Jolla in the company, and I can load more. And let's just see if that's a thing. This is kind of weird. So all of these just happen to have the name La Jolla in there. So you could do that, but I wouldn't like bulk export all of these folks. I'd be like, okay, this is a dentist. So cool. All right. So you click on this one. I think. Why is this thing giving me trouble? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. My point was, I'm trying to show you how to get a list of a bunch of different appointment-based businesses that are not vertical specific. So you could just go after all of them and not care, and just be like, I can help you get appointments, because it doesn't like really matter. Like personally, when I advertise this, I wouldn't advertise to a vertical. I would just advertise to all business owners and say, I can get you appointments, and then let them come to me. So I don't really know how to use this yet, because I just signed up for it around 6 o'clock this morning. But this is kind of the general idea, just don't know why the hell it won't let me add this person to my list here. Oh, well, that was weird. Okay, here they are. Great. So here's my man. So let's see. This guy's a CFO. Yeah. All right. So he's a doctor. No email address. So check this out. You can actually go and you can say, no, that's not what I want. Ah, it's driving me nuts. All right, I'll deal with it later. this might be the tool to use. We'll see. Sorry. Anyway, you don't have to choose a niche. That was a short answer. I should really stick with the shorter answers. I'm trying to show y'all new toys and stuff, but I don't know how to work this new toy as well yet.
No problem. Steven says, thanks for the sales call process. Do you recommend any kind of fear of missing out, or is that implicit in them wanting / needing appointments for their business?
I don't. No, it's just, do you want it or not, man? You know, we're not like, again, it's that internet marketing culture, nothing wrong with it, but we really don't have to do that. You know, like, if you don't want it, then don't get it. And next, you know, like that's kind of the whole thing. But if you go back to the whole choreography of that, they tell you when they want those appointments. So they've already established that it's important to them and they want them starting Monday. So there isn't really a need to do it. They created it on their own. It is going to drive me nuts not finding this thing. You can typically sort them by whether or not they have emails and stuff. I've clearly done something wrong with this thing. No. Oh, well, whatever. Sorry, dude. ADD's kicking in.
All good. We'll keep going. Millen says, what
Yeah,
if
please do.
what if businesses are worried that clients or prospects might not like being texted? In other words, what's the situation with the privacy policy in terms of B2C?
I cannot give any sort of advice on that. So we're under the assumption that these folks have a list of people that they've got a good relationship with, and they won't mind you sending them a text.
I got one that's probably going to have the same answer. Is there any HIPAA issues with using this appointment approach for medical doctors, orthopedic surgeons, et cetera, that I need to be aware of?
Don't know. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know the first thing about HIPAA compliance. You know, I can't imagine how giving you a number and a name and then sending a text saying, hey, do you need to come in? It would be out of compliance. I do know that High Level itself is HIPAA compliant, but I just don't know what all that means. So, you know, I'm not going to give an answer because I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But if you go to High Level and you like do their search and type in HIPAA, you can see how it is in fact HIPAA compliant. But I don't know anything about HIPAA compliance laws. So the last thing I want to do is tell you something dumb. You know, that's not like the right thing.
Awesome. Sam says, is it okay if we ask them how they built their list, just to confirm it's past customers and not like scraped numbers?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Awesome. Joe Salinas says, I have a client in professional services. They generate leads from speaking, networking, podcasting, etc., and they generate 500 leads a month, but follow-up is tough. Would one of the campaigns help?
I would not take that client. It sounds like they're a coachy internet kind of business, and those leads don't really have that much of an established business relationship with them. And that in the event you do get appointments, they might not sell, just based on my gut feeling around that. So I would pass. Like this person, you know, these folks right here, like we don't have their email address, unfortunately. There's a filter somewhere where we can run the damn filter, say only show me the ones with the email address. It's like, this is the perfect person, you know, my man over here at La Jolla Integrated Financial Solutions. Great. My man over here, California Hair MD, Colette, come on, perfect. Right, that's great. La Jolla Cosmetic Surgery Center and Med Spa, awesome. That's who you want. These are the folks that you want to get. And like what are the chances of Dr. Roy David here being sketchy and scraping leads? You know, like not very high, right? So that's who we're after, and these people are in great abundance. And what happens to us is, man, these earbuds are so weird. What happens to us is we're so used to internet marketing culture that, at least from my perspective, we can think that the entire world is like internet marketing people, when in fact, the internet marketing culture is the tiny minority. And most folks are like old Colette here, just regular people with a regular business, then they don't do any work yet. So it's not a lot of that you have to worry about. She's just over here cutting hair, doing hair restoration, and running a nice little simple business.
Makes sense. Do you have a good average response rate on cold emails?
You would get a varying answer from every single person you ask on that. It's going to come down to the list and the copy.
Awesome.
And like, who knows, right? And I wouldn't really care. Like, I would just be like, okay, let's try this because it's real cheap to try and see what happens. And if you go into our group, my man over here, let's see. We come back over here. Did old Jack update this thing yet? Jack, do you know who we think we are here? We really already hit my own stats a million times. Oh, this is the right one. Let's see. Where are you? I had done ask Jack how many he got. Anyway, he got like 13 replies or something crazy from 230 people. I couldn't believe it. And I'm trying to find the post, but of course I'm on camera, so I can't find it at the moment. But you can dig in. And if y'all aren't active in here, get active in here, man. It's cool.
Awesome. Dan says, after the initial campaign, would you sell them with the same flat fee?
No, I would put them in monthly. And there are two things that you could, you can sell them whatever the hell you want to sell them, right? Like High Level's got so many features, it's obnoxious. But I would sell them. Hang on, I gotta get this off of my screen. All right. Because I don't want to show a customer's email address or something. God help us all. That happened. Be the end of the world. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. So when you go to sell the monthly thing, which I don't want to cover yet, because we got, for me, I'm linear, so I can't, I'm terrible multitasking. But when you go to sell that, the thing to sell them is either A, you want to use the software, and they might be generating their own leads already. One cool thing about D7, which you guys might have noticed, do I have what pulled up? No, I don't. Like if you use D7, it will show you who's advertising, who's not. And you'll see that a lot of people generate their own leads already. So you can just sell them the software by itself, right? And so, whatever per month that you want to charge for that. Or you can sell them software with lead gen service, which is Facebook lead formats. And you've already got the automation for it right here, which is, here we are, this fellow. So you run a Facebook lead format, goes in here, and blammo. Now it's, it's booking the appointment from the lead from Facebook. And I would charge a no-brainer flat fee on that, between $700 and $1,200 a month. I think under 1,000 is like a 3-figure monthly fee. It's such a great deal for the client on that personally, that's what I would charge for it. And that's probably what they would want to buy.
Awesome. Thank you. Just a clarification on Joe Salima, the client in question that he has is a construction business. So he wants to know if this is still a good campaign to use for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've told the story so many times with bother y'all. But Josh, who was an early client of mine, well, not early, but I met him, I think in 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic. His dad had a remodeling company and they had their best year ever. And all they did was advertise a lead magnet, 7 things you need to know before you get your kitchen remodeled, something like that. And folks would opt in for it. And then they would call them. So they wouldn't even, we didn't have this. So they would call them and be like, hey, we're going to send the report. Here's the address. All right, cool. When are you thinking about remodeling your house? In the next month. Cool. Do you want us to come by and look at it and give you an estimate? Okay. That was the whole sales process. So this makes it a lot, more hands off for your client It was very rare to have someone that would actually follow up with leads like that. But now you don't have to worry about the client screwing it up because you put them in this sucker.
Awesome. If a client refers another person to us, how would you tackle the price difference with the referral, since there would be a different average order value for the different customers?
Maybe you just charge them the exact same amount. Like you can literally do whatever you want. So if you're referred by someone that you charge them $17.50, you can just charge them the same amount that you charge the other person. The only time when that wouldn't make sense is if their list is smaller and their average order value is small. And at that point, you might say, I charged your friend $1,750 to do this. I don't think that you would be profitable if you paid that, and I want you to be profitable. So I can do this for you for, whatever, less, right? And then you would tell them why. Be like, I'm going to do this for you for less because I want this to be profitable for you. And, but just know I'm giving you a break really for that reason. And then you can, this is wild, be completely transparent with them and say, the only reason I do this little service for people is because I want them to become monthly clients of mine. So that's my hidden motivation here, just straight up 100% transparency seems to work pretty good,
Awesome. Dan says, can you please elaborate again why you would want to establish a weekly versus monthly goal for number of appointments? Would that mean if you didn't reach that goal that you'd refund them after 1 week already? And if you did, and what if you did, would you continue at that same premise for the rest of the first month?
No. So we have two things we sell. And by the way, do whatever you want to do, right? Like this is just one approach that I personally like. So I don't want to wait a month to pitch them the monthly service. So sale number one is I'm going to get you appointments within a week. The reason we want to do that is because it's short and it's a little foot in the door mission that we can accomplish. So great. I got you 15 appointments. We like each other. I didn't rip you off. You made money. This is awesome. Would you like to continue working together? Here's what I can do for you. And then, help them. But you don't guarantee any performance on the monthly thing, especially, if they're not getting leads or whatever. Say, Jim, we can't send this text out to your list every month, obviously, and that's going to drive them nuts. And I'm guessing you probably would like a new batch of leads. So if you want, I can run ads and generate leads for you and turn them into customers and or turn them into appointments, and it'll cost you $800 plus whatever you spend on ads. You're not locked in anything. So if they don't book appointments, if it doesn't work, then there's no harm, no foul. You don't have to keep doing it. You want to give it a try. Like that's the pitch on that. Like no pressure, no guarantee, nothing.
Awesome. Thank you. Shamir says, question on the snapshot, Frank, does the new snapshot for us have the Facebook/IG lead catchers for both organic and ads version?
You don't need a lead catcher for ads if you're running that hybrid lead form / messenger ad. If you're running the ad as a messenger ad, then there's no difference, right, between the organic and the ad version. So if you run a Facebook ad, and Facebook's got like this option now where it'll run the ad as a lead form ad and as a messenger ad, that ad unit is going to come into high level as if it came from a form, even though it came from Messenger. I know it's weird. So you don't have to worry about that. If you run a Facebook Messenger ad by itself with a messenger ad, then you would come in here and where is stuff? Okay. The heck are you? No, where did I put them? No. Oh, it's in yours. That's why I'm in the wrong thing. You would clone it. I don't want to pull it back up here, but you would clone the organic one and you would just set it up for your ad.
Awesome. Eric says, currently I have pricing for 3 packages inside of High Level and tied to Stripe. Do we change the pricing from what we show now as premium for $4.97 a month if we're charging a one-time fee, say $17.50, after determining what a customer is worth?
Could you ask me that one more time?
Yeah, he's saying he's basically asking how we would charge, because he has the 3 packages inside of High Level. Premiums
Mhm.
$4.97 a month. But what does he do when he's charging a one-time fee of, say, $1,750 after determining what a customer is
Got
worth to the client?
So go into Stripe, and I don't want to do this on screen. Maybe I'll do it in a video, because like I don't want to show all my Stripe stuff, but you create a one-time payment link in Stripe, and you might be able to do it in within High Level as well. Let's see, actually, hang on. Let's see if we can pull off something sneaky here. Let me go to mine. Alrighty. I'll pull it back to the screen in a minute.
I'm pretty sure all High Level products have to be started in Stripe first anyways. So I think it just ends up being Stripe.
I think that it's actually, you can do it over here. But I don't know. But I was just reading this, and it's okay. Let's see. New. Look at this. One-time invoice to the customer right away. Let's see if it'll let us do this thing. All right. Add the name and item. Will you let me make one up? No, damn you. New item. Yes. Okay. Sweet. So you can actually do it right here within your thingy. So time appointment, whatever you want to call it, product type, service, price name. Bob, amount 1750. Add a new item. There we go. And now we can look at that. That is unbelievable. So cool, man. I'm like dorking out on this thing. Let's see. No. Oh, I guess I need to save that and then would add to the client. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Don't want to be doing that. We're gonna send it to Bob right there. Alternatively, you could do the same thing in Stripe, and Stripe will give you a little Stripe checkout thingy. So it's pretty neat. Didn't know it was that easy. About them apples.
That's
Ain't
awesome.
that something?
Neri says,
Yeah. So, dude, check this out. Actually, as you're doing that, I bet you can come over here and come into the Stripe. See if I can find this dang thing. Did you build it in Stripe yet? Look, I can come in here and Stripe if you want to do it as well. And I don't think High Level put it over to Stripe yet. Let's see. I think their API, yeah, I don't think they created a product out of it yet, which is fine because we didn't choose a customer to send it to. But we got to add product. You can do it right here, kablamo, and just do one time. And we can name it right here, and product category, whatever, services, pricing model, standard pricing sounds pretty good to me. You enter the price once, and you create it, and now you've saved it. And once you do that, you can come to any of your products. And I think the easy way to do this is, where are you? Create a payment link. There it is, right there. Ain't that something? So now we have this little link, and we can send it to people. which is pretty cool, pretty groovy. There's a button somewhere that we would press to actually get that thing, but we could figure that out. You know, I don't want to take up too much time.
Problem. Neri says, any concern about after you book appointments for the clients, but the clients cancel their appointments?
No. I mean, like, we could have concern about it. Like, whatever can go wrong eventually will, like, surely, right? But I'm not gonna worry about it. Something will go wrong at some point for sure. You know, there's gonna be a time where you don't get anybody to clients. You gotta give them their money back. All right. You know, it's normal. Sometimes they might all cancel. There's not a lot you can do about that. You can always, you know, the client's not mad. You're like, do you want me to run that campaign again? Always just run it again for them. You know, so I don't worry about it too much. And we have the built-in cancellation rebooking campaign, incidentally.
There you
And
go.
all of your appointment data is stored for the client in the client's pipeline as well. So you can see everybody who booked, everybody who canceled. So it's very difficult for any shenanigans to occur.
Makes sense. Dan says, do you suggest against pre-qualifying prospects before they sign up for a call?
I do. Yeah. Because it's not that long of a call, you know. So like I wouldn't care. Like, okay.
What
You're
if
gonna know in 5 minutes they're already good.
Yeah, that makes sense. What if the client provides like multiple services, like hair salon obviously does a bunch of different services? Do you suggest that they stick with picking one service, or should we not give their list a choice of services?
In that case, you know, I would do like a 15% off everything offer just to get folks in the door, and then you know, who knows what they're going to buy next, right? So I would run a blanket discount or something. Or if the hair salon owner doesn't want to do that, you just say, you know, I've got a couple of spots open this week. Do you want to come in? That's it. Like, it could literally be the text. Because the hair salon to me is going to be the easiest one, especially if it's a ladies' place, right? Like, dudes were horrible, you know. I mean, look at me, for God's sake. I haven't had a haircut in like 3 weeks, and I'm not going to get one until this just looks even worse. But ladies actually have a level of standards that they live up to, and I think they'd probably be some of the easiest wins imaginable, because it's like, I have to open this week. Do you want to come in? And that could be the entire text, you know, and then yes or no, and then now off you go with the appointment booking.
Cool. Jeremy says, could we get any case studies on businesses that have used this successfully that we can refer to?
No, because you know, this is a new project for me, and I don't think that it would be cool to give away anyone else's information, but the place to look is right here, right here in the school group, because people are already talking about getting sales, and you know, it's only a matter of time before you have like results from that. Who did I talk to yesterday? My first person yesterday, I'm blanking. Good
Dan?
Lord, sorry, dude. That I talked to. Yeah, man, Dan Pine. You know, he's got a furniture store. And already booked him 2 appointments, and the furniture store client naturally wanted to make the campaign as difficult as possible to succeed. It's like, why? Well, the client just do what you want him to do, but it was still already working, and it was, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning on day 1. So again, like, if someone says, do you have references? No, you are my very first client. That's why I'm giving you this low of a price.
Awesome. Does the original training video work with the new snapshot that you uploaded yesterday?
Your original training video.
I think, what was the
I don't know the
snapshot?
context.
Yeah, is the new snapshot you provided for, that's for clients, right?
I did 2. I did 2 new snapshots yesterday, and They are, well, let's see. How do I find all the stuff that I've done posted personally? Here's one. This is the one for y'all. So there's that one. And then, and by the way, if you click it, there's like instructions in here on what to do. Like there's a video to watch. And then there's another one for the customers, which of course I don't know where the hell it went. But it's in the, oh, here it is. New snapshot for your clients right here. So video instructions are right there. Good play. Yeah, there we go. So I heard myself very loudly there.
Clifford wants to know if we have any guides on Facebook lead forms or if we'll be covering that.
We will. I didn't want to have you building a list until I gave you what to say to them, though. You know, it's like, wait a minute. If we start getting leads and they don't know what to say, then they're going to spend unnecessary money on these leads. I wanted to have you kind of comfortable. And if you've never done this before, of course, it's going to be relatively uncomfortable to start, and that's fine. But I wanted to, you know, I wanted you to have the ability to sell to them before we did that. So we'll cover that next.
Awesome.
Just thought I was bringing that. There we go. Okay. I had to
Well,
figure out how to operate my computer.
We'll take a couple more questions. Carlos has over 300 phone numbers from clients who requested his book that have tax issues. Can he put his information in the system to start booking appointments?
I would. Yeah. Definitely. Like it worked. We saw like the craziest results with this thing when we did it for hours. Couldn't believe it. You know, I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. And they weren't even all customers. And it was a 300% increase in bookings over a human. So it beat out a real person, like calling, emailing, texting, and all that kind of stuff. And like one day, it did a 300% increase. It was insane.
Yeah. JP was wondering why you're switching between high level and Rainmaker AI. You guys would just be staying in high level. He was just doing that to demo what a invoice would be. Last question.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you made that clear. Like my version of my white label is Rainmaker AI, and yours will be whatever you call yours.
Nice. Doug wants to know
Yeah.
if you can speak to if we should be signing up clients as sub accounts or under a SaaS agreement. So should they be
the first thing, hang on a minute, I gotta tell this thing right there. This must be 11:37. My shades were starting to automatically go up. Yeah, it's 11:37. That's what time they're programmed to do that. You do it not as a SaaS agreement. On the first one, like this example I gave you today, where you're charging $17.50, you just sign them up as a one-time charge, and you're good to go. And really, when they turn into monthly, you don't even have to have them fill out like a SaaS order form. You can send them another Stripe payment link, because the SaaS part of this would create, if you sold it through a traditional order form that's hooked up to the SaaS configurator, it would actually make them another account entirely, and it would be brand new. And so now they'd have two accounts, and you'd have to go and clone it. So you don't actually need to use that portion of it until the day comes where you're like, you know what, I just want to sell this straight up ad software. And you know, that's a whole other universe of selling it through free trials or making a really good compelling sales letter on your website, etc. You know, but I wouldn't be doing that yet. I would take this lowest hanging fruit in the world, which is all of these local businesses that want appointments.
Cool. All right, I think that's it on Q&A.
All right, y'all. Well, please, I'll get this up for you in Skool, SKOOL. I'll get the slides into a PDF for you, and keep active in the community. Let me know how y'all are doing. And again, I've noticed a couple of questions like, man, I don't know, what am I going to do when I get a client, all that stuff. we really do help you onboard the client. So all you got to do is get a paying client, get their database, and then get on Zoom, and we'll knock it out with you right there on Zoom, setting up the campaign and everything. We're happy to do it. It's cool. It's fun. So we're here for you. We got your back, man. All right. Yeah, y'all have a good, what day is it? Thursday? Y'all have a good weekend. Happy New Year, I guess, too. Wow. And I'll talk to you next year. All right.